Did you wake up one day and realize that all your friends are getting married while you're still struggling to get a date?
I can't do this.
Being sexless and single in your 30s, 40s, or even 50s isn't just about not having sex. It's about watching life pass by you while feeling powerless to change the situation. In this video, I'm going to show you the 5 critical changes you need to make if you want to transform your dating life. These are the exact adjustments I've seen work repeatedly for all the gentlemen who were in your exact position.
What? My position?
And contrary to what you might believe, I'll reveal why women actually prefer older men, but only a specific type of older man. Most guys completely misunderstand this, which is why they struggle, but yeah, we'll talk about that later. So after I've been personally working with men for many years now who are stuck in this exact cycle, I've identified the specific patterns that keep guys trapped and, more importantly, come up with practical solutions that can help you change. So let's start with the first critical change you need to make. It's about the shift in perception that changes how women respond to you, especially as an older man approaching women in public. So part 1 is about your cringe tolerance. The first problem I see men in all ages really have is that you've lived your entire life avoiding social conflict. Think about it. How many opportunities have you missed because you were afraid of that particular moment of cringe?
I'm not cringing. I'm just acknowledging my limitations.
And this isn't just some small issue that I'm talking about here. This is decades of conditioning that created like a paralysis within you. Every time you interact with an attractive woman, your body physically tenses up, your throat gets tight, your mind races with all those reasons why you shouldn't ask her out. And most critically, you are listening to this voice all the time. I remember coaching this one client, let's call him like Michael, 42 years old, successful in his career, owned his own home, but he couldn't remember the last time he was on a date. When we first started working together, he literally couldn't make eye contact with the barista at his local coffee shop. He was terrified of even that small social tension. Cringe is unavoidable in life. There will always be cringe in life. We covered that in other videos. You will never be that person who just walks through life and everything flows perfectly. You will trip, you will spill coffee, you will say the wrong thing to somebody's wife. Like, it's just part of life. There is no way to avoid cringe in life except locking yourself in a room forever. So, what's the solution? You need to actively build your social freedom through gradual exposure. You can start small, making more eye contact with people, saying hi to people, giving out compliments. I've actually explained the step-by-step process of that in another video. Like, the whole point of these warm-ups is for you to feel a little more weird every time and being okay with that. So it's not about being smooth, it's not about not feeling that pressure. It's about feeling it and continuing anyway. It's also not about immediately starting to approach women for dates, right? The goal is to build your tolerance for those moments of social discomfort, so when it matters, you can push through. Now with Michael, we started from 0. So within a couple of weeks of doing these exercises and, leveling it up, he was not only approaching women regularly, but actually enjoying the process. It's really important. The cringe didn't disappear for him. He just learned to act despite of it. And that's what makes all the difference. Part 2 is about your nice guy behaviors. And this is gonna be uncomfortable for some of you, but you're being too nice. I'm not saying be an asshole, that's the other extreme. I'm saying that excessive niceness, especially from an older man approaching younger women, often comes off as creepy and suspicious. Why? Because women have incredibly refined bullshit detectors. When a man is overly accommodating and he's complimenting everything that she says, never showing any edge or any backbone, it isn't read as kindness. It reads as this guy has a hidden agenda. There's something off about him. He's hiding something. That's the creepy part of it. Women don't want a dude who's like their doormat. They want to feel your masculine frame. They want to feel that you have boundaries, opinions, that you stand up for yourself, and you have confidence to express yourself, even if there's a risk that you disagree with her. Like I had one mentoring client, very successful tech guy, he was in his late 30s, who couldn't understand why women initially like him, but then always ghosted. So we started reviewing his texts in one of my one-on-one sessions, and it was painful to watch. Every message was some variation of, whatever you want to do, babe. Yeah, you can choose. I'm flexible whenever you have time. He thought he was being considerate because, he was working from home. He was running his own business. He was flexible. But instead of being considerate, it came off as super low status and not respecting himself. Authentic masculinity isn't about fabricated toughness or never being kind. Gentleman is a gentleman. It's about having a solid sense of self. Have opinions and express them confidently. Set and maintain boundaries. Lead interactions with decisiveness. Show your authentic personality, including flaws. And prioritize honesty over saying what you think she wants to hear. This is very important. This shift alone can transform how women will respond to you. So that client that I mentioned, once he stopped trying to please everyone and started showing up authentically, the quality of his interactions completely changed. And women actually started responding him and were like craving to actually meet him. They respected him finally. Part 3 is about the way you dress. Your style is probably a problem for you. Specifically, you're not dressing according to an archetype that aligns with your physical attributes and the type of women you want to attract. So what I do in my social transformation program, which is multiple months of mentoring, is fixing this aspect in the first week. It's really important. We give you exact guidelines on attractive archetypes. So basically, we do a personal style consultation on a call. And then after that, provide you with video material and PDFs, so you know exactly what archetype to choose, how that looks like, and what pieces of clothing you should get. I do understand, like fashion can be confusing, and men often want simplicity. But your clothing communicates powerful messages about who you are before you say a single word.
Did you sleep with him?
Jesus God!
Yeah, probably.
And especially as an older gentleman, you have to be communicating wisdom, power, self-respect, stability, right? And you have to do this through a coherent, intentional way of dressing yourself. I had this one client, he was in his mid-40s, and he already dressed good. People would say, yeah, he's dressed well. He wore decent clothes, they were fitting, but his style wasn't for him because it wasn't aligned with his height, his race, his hairstyle, and most importantly, it wasn't suited for the type of women that he was trying to attract. This is very important. He was basically dressing in a generic, nice way that didn't communicate anything specific about him. Like nothing was standing out. So here are specific style guidelines that will transform how you're being perceived, especially by women, as a man who is over 35. Number one thing, invest in fit over everything else. Your clothes need to fit properly. They have to show your body. You obviously have to be comfortable in them. So not too tight, but definitely not too loose. Properly tailored, ideally, to your proportions. Secondly, prioritize quality over quantity. Well-made jacket, nice pair of boots, high quality t-shirt, good materials, no plastic, is way better than a closet full of fast fashion polyester bullshit. And finally, you can embrace your age through classic and timeless styles. You don't need to do the streetwear hipster stuff. You can leave that up to the young boys. Go for well-made basics, neutral colors, no like flashing red or green, that look good for years and years to come. And of course, I don't even make it that a point, but like be well groomed, have clean haircut, have like not hairs growing out of your ears and noses and stuff like that. I hope that's obvious, but yeah, good reminder. Look yourself clearly in one like maximization mirror to make sure you actually have a clean face when a girl is about to kiss you.
I love you, Chris. Like a brother.
So if you're on the older side, the right style doesn't try to hide your age, it leverages it as an advantage. It says, I'm experienced, I know who I am, I value quality, right? I'm stable. But more importantly, it communicates a clear archetype that is aligned with your natural attributes, like I said, that resonates with the women you want to attract. Problem number 4 might be that your social circle has collapsed or completely stagnated. This is something that happens almost to every man as he moves into his 30s, 40s, 50s. Think about it. Your friends from college and early adulthood, they're now married, many of them have kids, they're focused on family life, they're not going out anymore, they're not introducing you to new people anymore. The casual gatherings that you have where you meet new people, they're gone, they're disappeared. This creates a negative feedback loop. As your social circle shrinks, fewer new people enter your life. And with fewer new people, your opportunities for dating diminish. With less dating opportunities, you become more desperate about the rare chances that you have, a girl in your proximity. And that desperation now reinforces your belief that dating is impossible.
I'm gonna die alone.
Okay, you win.
I remember another client, he was in his 40s, and he came to me complaining that he hadn't been on a date for over 18 months, which is tragic, but less rare than you think. So we analyzed his lifestyle, and we figured out that apart from his job connections, he hadn't met or connected with a new person in over 2 years. Not a single new friendship. Basically, his world stopped expanding years ago. The solution is hard, but you have to intentionally build new social networks that are specifically designed to meeting women. This doesn't mean you abandon cold approach. More so, you need cold approach to fuel your social circle, especially in the beginning. You can start with identifying activities that naturally attract women in your target age range. You want to go where the women are that you want to meet. Could be cooking classes, could be certain types of fitness groups, volunteering opportunities. Second, become a regular. Not someone who shows up once, but someone who becomes a part of that community. That gives you social proof and makes approaching much easier. Third, position yourself as a connector. Organize small gatherings, introduce people to each other, and become known as someone who creates value within that community. Now, kind of like alert here, you don't want to come in a new community and straight up ask out girls for dates.
It's a date, but they don't know it's a date.
Create value first, create attraction, yes, hold eye contact, use the pausing stuff that we talked before, but don't pull the trigger too early, right? You're building something long-term here. You have to realize the honest, brutal truth is, as an older man, a strong social circle doesn't just happen, right? You have to intentionally create it. But when you do it, it becomes one of your most powerful assets in dating. The fifth and final problem, as I teased it earlier, this might be the most important, is your mindset about your age. Many men over 35 assume that their age is a liability in the dating market, when in reality, it can be one of your greatest assets. Remember when I mentioned that many women actually prefer older men? This isn't just my personal opinion. There's solid evolutionary psychology behind this preference. Older men tend to be more established, more emotionally stable, more experienced. They went through their struggles. They're just way more confident than the younger boys. These are incredibly attractive qualities for women. But
yeah, there's always a but.
There's a critical distinction, which I mentioned. Women prefer older men who own their age, not those who apologize for it. This is where most men mess up. They approach with this energy of, I have to compensate for being older, rather than my age is part of what makes me valuable. This one guy with the style I mentioned before, he was also just coming out of a marriage. He was divorced. The marriage was 20 years. And when he first came to me, he was desperate to hide his age. He lied on dating apps, he avoided talking about his life experiences, and he tried to act younger than he was. And the result were like awkward, inauthentic interactions with women. So the solution was a complete mindset shift. Instead of trying to compensate for his age, we worked on making it a strength. So we highlighted in his whole communication his wisdom and experience. We emphasized stability in his life, showing that to the outside world. And we leaned into his ability to be present and give focused attention to women. He's not like ADHD TikTok brain. So he didn't change at all the women he was going after, but the reactions from these women were completely positive now. So if you take nothing else from this video, take this. You don't need to apologize for your age. Right? You don't need to compensate for it. You need to reframe it into something positive. If you're ready to make this mindset shift, along with other like critical changes that we've discussed, and want to get my personal feedback, I'm hosting a free online workshop. It's called Confidence Unlocked on the 23rd of March. In this workshop, I'll be going much deeper into these principles. I will provide you with a step-by-step roadmap to transform your dating life as an older man. And as I said, it starts with the inner game element. This workshop is not for everyone. Please only register if you are ready to take action. I don't want to have men in there complaining. I don't want to have men in there who just consume content, because I will leave plenty of space for you to ask questions. And I want that the kind of guy who asks me a question and I take my time to respond will actually take this knowledge and put it into practice in the real world. So just click below, register now. I'm limiting it to about 50 spots, as I said, to make sure everybody has time to properly consume, ask questions, and get feedback on their situation. So in conclusion, being single and sexless in general, but especially in your 40s, 50s, it's not a life sentence. It can be a temporary situation that can also drastically change if you take action. Build your cringe tolerance, replace the nice guy with authentic masculinity, dress according to your archetype and according to what you want to attract. Take initiative when building a social circle, and reframe your age as an advantage and not as a liability. Trust me, I've seen countless men in the social transformation program transform their dating life in a matter of just a few months. Not by becoming someone they're not, but by removing the barriers that have been preventing them from expressing who they truly are. Your age is only a problem if you've been thinking about it in the wrong way. If you change that alongside with these other critical elements, you have a chance. If you need help implementing this stuff, because it can be a lot, it can be overwhelming, book a call below, free consultation to make sure if we can work together, if we align, if we can help you get your goals. Again, if you want to join the workshop on the 23rd of March, there's another link there where you can register right now. It's going to happen on Zoom, and I see you there. So thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.